Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of your Wheel and Anchor weekly newsletter. Over the past week or so, I've been putting together our trip inspiration survey, which you will find a link to in the blog below. And what it is a culmination of all of the ideas that both I've had as well as I've received from members about the kind of places that we might go in the future. And at the same time, I've been sort of asking myself, am I insane? Insane in the sense that, the way Einstein described it is insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And certainly the last year and a half has been a lot of canceling trips, rebooking them, canceling them again, and then planning some more for the future. And so, if you haven't already figured it out by now, I'm a bit of an eternal optimist. And I do feel that despite all the uncertainty going on, I do feel that we are headed in the right direction. And undoubtedly, we're going to see, another wave, another rise in cases, more challenges ahead. Who knows, maybe even more restrictions. But when I look at some of the parts of the world that we're traveling to, people are very keen to get back to life as normal. And certainly the vaccinations are helping that. But it's going to be a culmination of factors that enable us to really get back to life as we know it. And in that vein, a lot of members have commented, as I've mentioned before, that their travel calendar for next year is already pretty full, because let's face it, all those trips that we couldn't take in 2020 and 2021 need to be taken in this upcoming year, some of them with us and some of them on your own or with other companies. And so we have to look forward to the kind of things that we want to do and the way that we want to travel in 2023 and beyond. And so, as I said, this culminates in our annual trip inspiration survey, and we're doing it a little bit earlier than normal this year because we've heard a lot of excitement about the kind of places that we've talked about going, and now it's time for us to put pen to paper, as it were, and start planning those trips. So if you didn't catch the webinar this past Thursday, I went through about 20 of the trips that we're thinking about offering in 2023. So you might want to take a look and you'll find a link to a replay of that webinar that gives you a little bit of a quick overview of what we're thinking about. One of the highlights of that is what we're planning for winter of 2023. And given my earlier remarks that with the challenges that Thailand is still facing, it seems inevitable that we'll have to postpone our Koh Samui live-away trip that a great number of our members were looking forward to, me too, of course, until next year. And so what we're doing in 2023 is we're going to combine several destinations in this part of the world so that you can actually spend a prolonged period of time, get away for a good chunk of the winter. It'll be starting off at the end of January next year. We're going to be going to back here to Koh Samui, Thailand. After that, it'll be Bali, Indonesia, followed by the North and South Islands of New Zealand, and the last part of the last trip in a series will be our Australian rail journey. And of course, you can do any one of those, or two of them, or three, or you can come with us for the whole 3 to 4 months and enjoy all of them all in one go. So that's one of the things that you'll find on our trip inspiration survey and in our past webinar. The survey itself, which is attached below, is simpler than the one that we've done in the past. So even though there are some 40 trips listed on there, you can probably buzz through it in about 10 minutes or so, because it's basically 2 questions. Do you want to be put on our pre-release list? And this is a new approach we're going to be taking, particularly for members who've been clamoring for specific trips. We're going to be launching new trips to members that have indicated an interest a couple of weeks before general release, which gives you a chance to ensure that you can grab a seat on those trips. And so as you go through the survey, if you really think it's the type of trip that you'd like to go on, and of course there's no obligation involved, but if it's something like, yeah, I would book that trip, then that's when you click yes, please include me in the pre-release list. And of course, if it's, there's lots of places, I'm sure we'd like to go to all the places on the list. But if you think, yeah, not for right now or for some time in the future, then the answer would be no, not for me right now. So very simple, very quick. We appreciate your effort in doing that. Basically, all of the trips that we have been offering have at one point been included on one of these surveys, and that's why they're there, and that's why they're booking up the way that they are. So this coming week on Thursday, the 29th, we'll have the second edition of our trip inspiration webinar, and we'll look at a bunch of other destinations like the Orient Silk Road Express, and as well as the African Rail Odyssey from Cape Town to Dar es Salaam, a couple of the trips that we described last year when we were talking about some of the new and innovative programs that we want to bring to the table. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about our other programs, please do tune in for that webinar. Again, the link is below. And otherwise, please do fill in that survey. The time you spend makes a huge difference to me and to all of the members in our community in terms of our planning efforts for the future. So thanks very much in advance for doing that. Look forward to catching up with you again next week.